This conference will now be recorded.
All right, well, welcome back. I know I mimic that every time. It's like karaoke. I love doing that. I wonder if it does get recorded. So we are here, GWDA 302, Information Design. Let's hear it for everyone. Yay! Week 7, standard cast of characters here, as usual. Where is everyone else? I don't know. Why not? I don't get it. Sooner or later, it'll come to you and you'll come and hang out and see us what we do before the camera goes on and after the camera goes on. There's a lot of good stuff that goes on before, during, and after. So you should come in and check it out. Come with your classmates and join and help talk critiques. All right. So we are in week 7. Welcome. Hello, folks. Hello, 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 hello. So project 2 is due today. Well, oddly enough, this is where I'm going to get on my high ass horse and say 4 people have submitted projects. Only 4. Let's see. And how many are in this class? Way too many. Only 4. We had 3 weeks to design our project. I think that's pretty good amount of time. So get your stuff up there. I like to do the reviews, like I keep saying. I want the projects up here today so that if you don't show up to class, I can still look at it and review it, or we can review it with your classmates, and as you can see, a critique on the video. But we cannot do that if you don't put it up there. So it's very hard. For the people who did put it up there, thank you. I'll appreciate that very, very much. Because I will get back to you. I did already grade them already, so I'm already on that shit. So, all right. So with that, we're going to look at some stuff and talk about the project, right? Have our discussion for topic number 7, all right? And look at project number 8. Project number 8. What the hell is that? Week number 8.
Number 3.
Everyone just had a heart attack. Like, holy shit! So did I. I was like, wow, we just jumped from 2 to 8. I was like, I had a panic attack.
I was like, when did we have 6 more projects?
I know. Yeah, I was like, oh, wait, did that happen? Yeah. No, week 8, we're going to go to project number 3.
Okay.
Yeah. Woo! All right. So next week will be your thumbnails due for project number 3 and your thing. But I want to go over project number 3 with you guys right now. Then we'll do the review of project number 2, discuss that and see how you like it, what's going on, and what you can do or what you don't want to do, or any other questions like that. So get up the project sheet and share the screen with you fine folks. So this one we've talked about so much, and this is where I like to save this one for the last. I save the best for last. All right, and this is where I also tell you where it's going to be hanging. Okay, so now this is what's going to be hanging in the hallways of Adobe. Okay, so that way right away off the bat, you're not picking. I'm telling you where it's going to go. You know what it is. We talked a lot about mass information, how much information, what to put on there, when to put on there, what to put there, take away, what, type, size, and all this. When there's oodles and oodles of pages of information, you have to square it down to like, a 5x5 box. What do you do? How do you go about it? How do you present all this information? So this is a culmination of everything that we talked about. All right. So, and there are certain things I want you to do. All right. And pay attention to, as well as we design this and focus on this. And I want to see part of this. All right. So we are going to create a 24x36 timeline for Adobe Inc. All right. Portfolio piece, future clients. To design and create 24x36 inch timeline that gives the subject matter. Timeline can either be portrait or landscape. Explore the different approaches of information, and they are designed for the viewer. Explore the use of illustration, graphics, pie charts to convey the message. So I'm leaving that information up to you, how you want to apply and give the information to the viewer. So we are going to design, illustrate, and create a 24x36 timeline that gives the subject matter, Adobe Inc. Right? You will show the dates of the software and the early interfaces that was used. You will only be showing the 3 major software interfaces. You'll have to figure out which softwares those will be. There are 2 that you kind of know about. There are 2 that you probably don't know about, so you have to look that up. So this is where your research comes to play. You also can show the inventors, developers of the software, a mini bio of them, using both photo and type design and illustration to make this timeline. This project can be done in Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign. Right? Again, InDesign was not one of the first Adobe products, so be aware of that. go back and do your looks. Make sure you label all your layers properly. Please do that. You'll do your research on the topic and make sure you have enough information and using a type of grid format of your choice. Okay, does that make sense so far? All right, so we're going here. So right here, as you can see, this is on the project sheet, is on the learning path again. All right, learning path. Down to the bottom, project sheets. Okay, that's where you'll find that project sheet. All the project sheets actually. So no color laser printers, but I do want you to print them out just to see how they look and all that stuff. So definitely go for it. Thumbnails are due next week, right? Roughs are due the 21st, the 1st. And the final project, the presentation, will be December 8th. All right, so that's your timeline, 3 weeks. All right, so I gave you an information of timeline, what timeline means, right? Information about Adobe and how you want to lay it out. How do you want to lay out your information of your design? All right, again, here's Adobe, all this information 36 years ago. All right. How do you want to lay out your business? How do you want to lay out your timeline? Which way, which format? Again, illustration, vertical, horizontal, text, non-text, pie chart. I'm leaving that up to you because this one is going to be tough. I know it's going to be tough because do you see this?
Yeah.
This is the original Photoshop.
Oh, cool.
Right. So this is the Photoshop I started with beta test. This is the very, very first version 1. Look, version 1. Look, it came
Could
on
you
a
do
disc.
a Photoshop 1?
Disc.
Man.
All right. So, and now look, all the versions of Photoshop. That's just up to 2014. So think of the history now. To look at the icons. And if you want, you can even explore that avenue, the history of the icons, of the design of the icon, because as you notice, and look on your docs right now, if you look on your docs right now, everyone look on your docs. All right, everyone look. Me look. But if you look at your docs, look at the icons over here. These are square icons. The ones on your desktop or on your thing are more rounded. So
Yeah.
they're paying very more attention to a lot of things and what works. So they're always rebranding when they do stuff. So you can do a history of that if you want, how they went about doing different, icons and all that stuff. And here, look, here's Adobe Illustrator.
It's so great.
This is stuff that I was playing with when you guys were just wee pittance of graphic designers. All right.
Because at first it seemed like those programs didn't update as fast.
Oh, hell no. You had to like purchase them, then you had to get them mailed to you. This is way pre-internet shit. Then you wait for the disc and hopefully that nothing happened in the mail, that it got ruined in the mail. So here, this is that other software I was talking about.
Oh yeah, I've heard of PageMaker.
Right. PageMaker actually turned it like it is in design. It took the best of Quark, which was out there, which is still out there as a program, but all this PageMaker, as we used to call it, Rage Maker, because it was like, I won't do this, turned into InDesign. They took like everything Quark couldn't do and were like, well, we'll do it. We'll make it even better. And they started incorporating all the software together. So I wanted to show you that. So that, Illustrator, and Photoshop were the 3 big ones back then. There's also another program called All This Freehand, which was a rival to Illustrator. Then Adobe basically bought them and merged them together. So think about that. That's why I want you guys to do that and look at the menu. I mean, come on. So, all right. So you're gonna have to do a lot of looks, and because I want, show 3 major software interfaces. So how the interfaces look, what they did, how they evolved, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
That'll be fun.
yeah, it's one of those things. Again, it's going to be a lot of research, and there's going to be so much information. This is where we talked about this, like what happens when you have like I have 20 pages and I only get to get everything on one page. You know, what do you pick and choose? What do you pick and choose? So now this is where you have to start figuring out, how do I give the Adobe story? You know, and tell it in a good fashion and a good way. And so now you're thinking it's going to be hanging in Adobe lobby. So who's going to be seeing it, right? People who work there, right? So they know all that shit. So the accuracy has to be there, right? You can't bullshit them. Then you also have visitors, right? So Adobe might want to also then push it out as a publication, presentation, swag, poster to send out to schools and all that cool stuff, you know, or if you want to download it and print it out for yourself in your home. Up to you how you want to do it. But this is where I'm gonna let you know, it has to be accurate, has to be good design, because you're dealing with now Adobe. So pretend that Adobe hired you and you are going to do a timeline for them. Let's put it that way. All right. So next week, thumbnails are due, right? First is the roughs. Again, the roughs, I just want to see digital files, how it's going and all that. And then on the 8th is the final version. Okay, so that's all. And again, like I said, this was kind of leading up. There's so much information, and I like this because, again, I feel that you should also know about your software and your companies and the people that you're dealing with and what you came from, what you didn't have to deal with, and what you do with now. Is so much amazing stuff. So I want you guys to just be appreciative of it, because, like, damn, you guys really have no clue what Photoshop was when it first started in Illustrator and all that good stuff. So, and PageMaker, oof, oh, the whole bad thing. All right, any questions on that project? No, yes, no. Already racing? Shit's racing through your head already, trying to figure it out. All right. So first thing, my thing is, which way you guys going? Vertical or horizontal?
Maybe vertical.
Okay.
I feel like it gives you more space, I think. Like a timeline,
right?
You know?
Yeah. See, that's like, oh, it's so tough, right? It's like, but that's what I figured. If you get that orientation set, then you can start sketching it out. I think that's the first thing you should do, is just figure out your orientation, and that way you can start thumbnailing, and then you go back and try the different variations, but kind of like solidify that. Oh, okay, I'm going horizontal or I'm going vertical.
My first idea, thinking of the lobby, you know, as you're walking through the lobby, like you want to go down the timeline.
Oh yeah,
I think
right.
Is the way to go.
Right, perfect. And you know, also think about it this way: if you want to do it, so it's 2436. Like, let's say, you know, maybe you want to break them up, like, you know, so, or let's say, well, you know, if you want to say, oh, we're gonna do like a 5 foot by 4 foot panel, right? Let's say if you want to do that, but think about maybe like breaking it up in sections. So, like, you know, like, oh, like it's a 1 foot section, 2 foot, almost like a triptych or quadric, you know, but it's a poster, but there's just little breaks in there if you want, you know. That also helps, I think, with the timeline. It could show like the gaps in, you know, time, you know, so you could have that line, and then it'll say like 82, then you have that little gap, 84. You know what I mean? So they have that space between the picture, like, hanging up. Yeah. So good. Get out there, see what happens. Yeah. But again, I think if you get the orientation, that'll help not set the mood, but it gives you something way to go from that and all that stuff. So hold on a second. Let me do this. Let me reference. Corporate. Okay, so I want to show you this, guys. So this is my secret stash of corporate logos that I built in my lifetime, meaning taking them from paper to digitizing them. And this is what I used to do in New York. All right. And while I'm showing you this in a second, I'll show you, double click. So when I started in the industry, okay, sure, put that. Everyone would have like cards or logos, and all of a sudden they'd give it to you, and you're like, hey, where's the digital files? Like, I don't have it, just create it. So I went around and got all the digital files that I can find, and from my clients and all that stuff, and I started just day by day, and these are stuff files. So these are A through Z, right? So where's my desktop? Here's my A folder. There we go. Oopsie. So I spent, and this is how I learned Illustrator a lot and dealing with it. So I went through with all my clients digitizing, vectorizing actually all my clients' logos.
Hey, I remember AMP.
Yeah, I know, right?
These are all ones you created?
Well, I didn't create. I had to vectorize them. They gave me the file, like, here's a business card. Scan it in and use it. Like, I'm not using that raster image, or they give me a JPEG. I was like, no, I just went back in and vectorized all these things so that way when time came, they came in, I would have a vector logo and I would just change the color, the PMS color, whatever I need to. So that way, if I stretched it up or face it up, I wouldn't have to worry about it. So it's all vectorized. And the reason why I say that, Adidas, anyone know what Adidas stands for? No? Okay. The reason why, I'm going the wrong way. Ha, la, 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 la. Oh, there it is. Boom. So I can give that to you guys to have that if you would like.
Okay.
A nice little Adobe vector. All right, so let me see something. Let's see. I wonder if I can't send a file, can you? That sucks. That does suck. I thought you were able to send a file. All right, well, I will post this right now. What's this? Live, right in front of your eyes. Freebies. You know what? I feel very generous today. So you folks will get that. Oh shit! Wait, hold on a second. Oh damn it! All right, I'll go back. Let me just do this what I should have done, actually. Clients. Whoop, corporate logo. Sorry about that. I will drop the A in there now. So. And there you go. So go get those. All right. Go over here. Desktop. I don't get rid of my files, so I don't keep moving stuff around. I don't confuse myself. All right. All right. So use those in good health. So, but those are things I would do. I would spend days just vectorizing logos and getting all that shit for my clients, all this stuff, right? Because they would give me, like, they'd come in with business cards and they go, here's my logo. I'm like, where's the electric file? Like, I don't have it. I'm like, argh. So I would scan it. I could scan it at a higher resolution, but I was more afraid that after a while you're blowing it up and all that. So I'll just vectorize it and make sure there's no resolution. So use the Adobe logo. Have fun with that. Or use all other logos. It's up to you. So, all right. Any questions so far? No? No? No?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right. All right. All right, let me quit of that one. So let's go back and look at Module 7 discussion topic. All right, we are looking about perception, presentation, and perception. All right, so two important things. Why is these so important? So we can discuss that right now. Right? Why do you think? And again, like I said, we're not printing. The reason why I like doing these big sizes again. If we were in class, in school, I wouldn't want you to print them. I would want you to print them, mount them, and present them to me, like we do a critique in the front of the class, and everyone can stand up and look at it, and we all point at it and make notes and go, that's the presentation, because I want to make sure that you understand about hand skills, presenting, because again, it might not be needed now, but I also want you to have the skills and understand why presentation is very important and how it looks. But it's good, it's the perception, so they both tie together. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, because again, if the presentation looks shoddy, like I said, they're going to perceive that your work is shoddy. It's just all that. It's just perception. So the presentation has to be spot on. It has to be look good. And it has to show that you know what you're doing. Because again, I don't know how you guys are with your hand skills. I think we went over that last week about mounting and all that stuff. So that's one thing I always try to do this for you guys. I want you to have those skills, even if you never use it, or maybe you use them once or twice, but you know what you're doing, how to handle it. Because again, in my class, if you come in with a crooked piece of paper, you don't mount it right, or if you're using glue sticks, gel, anything but spray mount and not making it look good, I am going to take points off it, because that's also part of the presentation in the grade book. Part of that as well. Normally in class, I would look at it, I would check your mount, I make sure nothing's peeling up, the board's not warped and all that stuff. So this is part of the presentation. Again, you don't know who, especially if you're doing Adobe, you don't want to walk in there like, kind of swinging under your arm, right? What happens if you ever do that? Has anyone heard of like flapping and folding? Does anyone know what the hell flapping and folding is?
No.
That stare look of deadpan of like, what the hell did he just call me? I called you a flapper and a folder. Oh, really? Okay. Flapping and folding are important parts, because again, it helps cover the image so that way nothing happens to it. Like if you're walking in or something spills on it, or it just looks good. If there's double flaps, single flaps, it's just paper on the back and how you present it. I'll show you that if you guys want. But again, that's the presentation. It looks good, because even if you walk in with that on a meeting, right? And let's say even if you walk in with if in a big black portfolio, they're going to say, "Oh, wow, look, what does that mean?" I don't want to give you the answer. God damn it, I don't want to give you the answer. If you walk into a meeting, right, you're going to do your presentation for Adobe, and you have your posters. You want to show them that you have 3 versions of those posters, and Germaine walks in with just under his arm, right? And he just walks in mounted like that. Brian walks in with it just in tubes, no, not mounted, right? Just in a tube, and he's just going to unroll it, pin it up on the board. Armando walks in it with the mounted but flapped, and that's pieces of paper put over it and taped down so it looks very neatly. And Naib walks in with the black portfolio, right? So what do they think? What do you think they perceive? What's their perception automatically?
He's the one that's most prepared.
Right, because it shows that he cares for the work. He's protecting it, because he wants to say, "Hey, I'm not walking in with under my arm." Because again, you can walk with under your arm, but also you might go like this, and it'd be on the print side, and all of a sudden you have that big ass scratch on it, and you go to put it up like, right? You're right about to present, you can't go back like, "Hold on, let me go print this again." It shows this perception that you didn't care about your work or their work or how to present it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's that whole thing. That's why I want you guys to learn how to do mounting and all that. It's just the perception. Again, you never know when someone will say, "Hey, can you just quickly mount this or get this ready for a meeting?" You're like, "Oh, well, I don't." You have to know how to do it. It's one of those critical hand skills that I think any graphic designer, no matter what, has to know this. And I think every teacher will say that. And I think that we harp on that a little too much, but at the same time, it's very important. Because again, if you know it, you know it. If you don't know it, it sucks. You don't know it, you should know it. But you might not use it every day, but if you run across it, at least you know how to do it. Okay? You don't stand there like, let me Google that. And like, they didn't hire you to Google that shit. They expect it as a designer and artist, everyone should have these skills. I'm not even bullshitting it, because this is a very important thing, and I'm very true. Because like in my portfolio class, we were talking to Sam Viviano, and he kept on saying like, "Oh, I'm old school." Yeah, I understand that, but I want them to understand the same thing of presenting and mounting. If we weren't doing this COVID-19 thing, you will be in the office, or you be in front of me or your teacher presenting it to you, because that's how I want to do it as I run my classes like a real studio. And so we're presented to us, we do the fake formal thing that we get ready to go to the client, but we want to make sure everything's ready to go and looks good, so that way you don't look bad, my company doesn't look bad, and we get to keep our company running and all that good stuff, and people pay us lots of money because we do really cool shit. So, all right. Questions about that? Does that make sense about your perception and all that? All right. Did you guys think about it? Like, did you like, well, maybe I'll print it out and try to mount it, or not? Yes, no. Huh?
I mean, yeah, I'd like to see my stuff printed out to see if it actually works.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, really, again, for us, when I say rough proofs, you can go to school and get a big print made cheap or free. I would definitely see how that way. Again, these large projects reveal everything. They tell you every little detail about the designer. Did they go back and look at everything? They double check it, they triple check it, make sure everything works and all that good stuff. So it's kind of cool. All right. So I would definitely say, you know, not now, not the end of the term, but some time before the end of your career at AI or class, get it printed, see how it looks, you know, so that way you might have it in your classroom, not your classroom, in your room, and hang it up and all that stuff like that. All right. Because I see Germaine's background, and I know, did you mount that big picture or those characters, or and cut it out?
Yeah, I went to this printing company. So basically, when I go to like comic book conventions, I have like this big cutout of like my characters, and
Right.
then when I get home, I'm like,
Samurai Afro.
so
Your shirt. Sorry, I can see the
oh
shirt.
yeah,
Sorry.
yes. What is that? You remember that movie, The Last Dragon, with Bruce Leroy and Shonuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended up like drawing Shonuff. So this is the actual.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a printing company, King Customs, and they like it'll cover the whole shirt. So if you wanted to like be on the sleeves, if you want to change the shirt to a black shirt, yeah, this is a pretty cool company.
So check it out. So if Germaine walked into okay, here's the question. Here, let's play perception again. So perception and presenting, right? How would you think about dressing? Meaning casual, business casual tie, or like coming in with a cool T-shirt that might have something with Adobe on there, or something with your artwork that you made through Adobe, you know, or Adobe designed to print or something like that. I'm just curious, how would you go about thinking about presenting? You know, yeah.
So I guess it depends on like who you're dealing with, because some people, you know, you may want to wear a suit, and then some people you might be able, like I might be able to wear like this shirt, but then just wear, you know, kind of like a dress jacket with it and some jeans. So it just depends on who you're dealing with.
True. But I think like that, if you wear something like that, you wear, hey, I also did this T-shirt through Adobe Design to print. Like, oh, look, so you are using Adobe Design. You know, like it's kind of like another little like, hey, like I am using the whole Adobe products and all this stuff, and look what cool stuff I'm creating as well. So, you know, it could be a hit or miss thing about that of how you dress, but I mean, it should be business casual. But again, like Germaine said, depending on who you are, if you can be the art director, you know, I'm not gonna say come in shorts, but definitely wear something good. But again, if you can showcase your talent and show that more for Adobe love, I think they'll like that as well. What do you guys think? Yes, no?
I think it all, like he said, it all depends on the company you're presenting at.
Yeah.
You know, a small ad agency where everyone's in jeans and a T-shirt, and you show up in a three-piece suit.
Yeah.
They're gonna say, oh, you know, you can't relate to our vision and blah blah blah.
Right. Yeah. Very true. It's you know, it's sometimes it's better to be a little overkill, but not. But it don't come in like, oh. But again, also doing the research. You know, finding out what kind of people they are and how they behave and all that. Because there can be a Facebook page or somewhere you can get some photos of the companies to see how they are dressed and all that stuff. So.
And remember, if they offer you alcohol, take the water.
Yes.
Always, oh yeah.
I've had it happen during an interview. Like, what would you like to drink? Water, tea, vodka, brandy, I have water.
Yeah, it's a little test. It's right there. It's like, oh well, like no, because that's what they're gonna see. Like right there, there's a perception, right? So perception. You take a drink there, all right? What are they gonna perceive?
You're alcoholic.
Well, not even alcoholic. Right. Well, that too, right off the bat. But then you might go on lunch, have a drink. You know, you might come in late. You might be hungover on Mondays or whatever. You know, so. Yeah, that's perception, right? Like Germaine said, don't take it. Just no coffee or water or tea, whatever, you know, but don't take alcohol. Yeah, I don't care what they say. You know, like, no. Okay. Yeah, it's really important. I want you guys to really. I mean, I feel like I'm banging. I don't say banging my head against the wall on the presentation part because I know that sooner or later we are going to be back face to face. So. I want you to be prepared for this, not because everyone's like, well, we're doing this commuting and all that stuff, that's fine. But what happens when you really have to do a face-to-face? And I want you to have the presentation skills and everything looking good. So again, it's a perception that you understand how to present and look, and it shows that you care about your work. As I always joke about it, you'll take a bullet for it, because if you see little dinged edges, if you come in with your little mat board or your little foam core is dinged on that, the people are like, you don't care about that. It's just little things like that. You want to make sure that they understand that you'll take a bullet for it. You'll go over it. You don't leave the boards in the car overnight. I'll pick them in the morning. The shit's already peeling up and all that. No, don't do that.
And you've done this longer, because I remember I had a professor, and we had to kind of mat our stuff,
Right.
and we would do stuff, and she said, "Yeah, y'all can't mat like how we mat." And I was like, "What does that mean?" She said, it was a different time. Y'all just can't do what we do. So
And she should have showed you.
yeah, she never explained it. She just was like, "Y'all can't do that." So
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
walked off.
I'll sell you can't do that, but then also show you how to do it, so that way you know how to do it, and that way you can't say, yeah. Because I remember I went over it with you guys. I know I did it with Armando. I wasn't sure it was this class or art direction about mounting. One of the classes. So I remember I held a picture with the holes on the back.
I remember you said something about, you mentioned something, I don't know if it was this class or the other class, where you were talking about putting a pinhole in, and you said don't spray the board in the paper or stick. But I remember you saying
this class, I think so.
I think
For
it was. Yeah.
In this class, for presentation, the data.
Yeah, yep. Because remember, I said spray the board, don't spray the paper, don't spray both, only spray one side, right? Do all your markups on the back of the mat board or foam core, whatever is required. Get all your markings, do your pinholes, push pins, and it'll pop through little holes on the other side, and then you'll know where to actually mount them. Boop, boop. And that way you don't have no writing on this side. You have all your writing on that side, and no one's really going to look at that. But, so that was easier to fill. And that way you don't have all that, especially when you have to erase, it doesn't get that two-tone look and all that stuff. So all you do is you can match up the holes. Sorry. You just match up the holes and put your paper to it and all that. So it's a simple, easy way to do it. And again, spray mount, Super 77. If you're going, if you're going to a as I call it, a flush mount, edge to edge, excuse me, spray the board, right? This is going to cover it, but don't spray the board. And if you can have a 1-inch border around it, because you don't want them to, have that fingerprint and all that. So if you are going to have like a 1-inch border around it, right? I'll say that's when I say I'll spray the paper, not the board, because I want to make sure that I don't have any overspray. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so again, it's just these little things. I want you to have these hand skills, understand it, and try them, because it really makes sense. You roll it up, right? And again, 24-30 is a pain in the ass. You either two people, one person. You roll it up, you lay it down, you match it to the corner, right? Kind of have it like this. And a great trick to this is tracing paper. Believe it or not. So if you get, like, here's my poster. Like, here's my poster. I'm rolling it up. You could also put a little clip on it if you need to what I like. If I'm doing it by myself and my wife's like, no, I'm like, oh shit, I can't hold it, right? So I put little clips right here, little paper clips, right? So that way I can get this edge started and I don't have to worry about going like this, folding back on me, like son of a bitch, because it always folds back and lands on it, like, that's good. So that way I roll it up. All right, and if I can't hold it, sometimes it'll be like this, but if not, I'll put the paper clips, put it down on the board so that these will match the holes, right? Put it down, and I start unwinding it, and I just use my burnisher tool, and hold on. You can use the back of a credit card, but I like one of these bad boys. You can buy these at any paint shop. Sturdy. So that way, when I come over this way, I just kind of push it out. It has a bigger thing. So what I like to do is I'll do it two ways. I go one way, and then I'll come back that way. So I guarantee. Did you guys know that when you paint, if you go in different directions, you won't have paint streaks? No, you guys really realize that. Okay. FYI. Yeah, and when you're painting, right? go this way then afterwards, and it'll clear all the streaks. FYI. If you do it, mount it, and it's going to get a better push down on that, and it'll be more secure. Okay. Again, if you have a little, if you find out there's somewhere down there as you check in, and there's a little bubble there, right? Again, just take a pin right there, pop it, squeeze it out, pop it like a pimple, squeeze it out, and then you can smooth it down. Don't crease it, so that way you won't see it, and that way when you hold it from a distance, no one will see that pinhole and will get it out there, so you don't have to keep pulling that off there, because after a while it will shred the paper and the fiber, then it gets harder to stick, and you have to respray, and then it's everywhere. Okay. Question on that? Does that make sense? A little easier? Okay, Aisha's there. All right. So again, I want you guys to practice that. I really wish you know, not for this, but I mean, if you haven't done it, try it. You guys are going to need this sooner or later. I'm not sure when it'll happen, but I know when we come back to ground and all that stuff, I prefer you guys to print that, because again, it's coming from screen to print, and again, the paper makes a big difference, aka substrate, right? So think about that. Also, think about like what kind of paper. Like, I know we can't do spot varnishes, right? But just think of like, ooh, if I had a chance to put a spot varnish somewhere on this poster, I would try to incorporate it here. If not, but think about matte paper or glossy paper or semi-matte. You know, what kind of paper do you want? How, because you know it's going to affect the look of the thing, of the design. So start thinking about that. You know, what kind of paper do you want? What do you think it will work with? Do you think a glossy stock will work better, or a matte stock? Yeah. But again, that's all we have available. But I want you to think, like, if you had a chance, like, ooh, I could put a spot varnish on maybe the Adobe logo, or maybe a spot varnish on this. So just think about it. Try to incorporate it to your design. Say, but this would be a spot varnish. But I just want you to think about it. So, because again, Adobe has money. They can pay for all that stuff. They have money to make all that cool stuff. So, all right, don't try not to limit yourself because of that, but think of the client who has the money and what they're going to be paying for all that good stuff. All right, does that make sense?
Mhm.
All right. Any questions so far? We're doing good. All right. All right. We'll take a look at some of the submissions. We'll go over that and talk a little more about that. Maybe the project, and see what you guys think. Are you guys nervous, or are you ready, or yeah, for this project, or is this like one of them like, holy shit, you know, like
I'm always excited to work on like the projects in this class. Now, if I could transfer this over to like my intermediate web class, that'd be different.
why not? Give it a shot. Yeah. So I want you guys to have fun, but this is where you guys can start taking it and really playing with it and going crazy with it. All right. So, but again, this project is a lot of information, and it works. You know, this is, yeah, I think it's a tough one, but not tough enough. I mean, it's not. You can do it. Everyone can do it. But again, it's going to come down to like, how much information do you really want to put out there? But there's so much I'm asking for. Now you're going to scale it down. And which is important date, which is important facts, what do I want to be an important date, which are important facts, which do you think Adobe would want, you know? Yeah. And are you coming at as a techno person, like, you know, like, oh, this is very cool techno, or as a design person, it's like, oh, look how cool my design is. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. No, I just thought of something like what I was thinking of what direction I could go, because I was like, wait, you know what? I don't know if I will, but I could make like a video to go with it. So that way it would be kind of like you have like this poster, and then if you're like walking in there, it would be kind of like a history poster as well.
Well, that's how like a lot of like even like the Louvre has that now, where they have them on the headphones, right? Well, that'd be kind of cooler. It'd be really kind of cool, almost maybe interactive. Think about that, something, maybe do something with interactive. I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying think. So don't go freaked out that I just said that. Because, oh my God, he wants us to do interactive now. No, I don't know anything about it. Ah! No, I'm just saying think about it. How cool would it be, right? If you want to, if you're walking down there and you're like, oh, you can pick up your phone, all of a sudden like QR code or something like that, and all of a sudden someone from Adobe starts talking to you, you know what I mean? So think about that as another way, as a poster, how that poster can be a catalyst for something else, like Germaine said. maybe they walk by with headphones and they can hear a story about the Adobe, something. Don't forget Bluetooth.
Hmm.
All right. So think about that also. I mean, you don't have to do it for this, but I want you to think about it. If you wanted to, hey, this is where this poster would come out and have a little AR and have a little speak and all that. That's a great idea. I mean, those are the great things for information design, right? Publication design.
Plus, it kind of saves you when you get to portfolio and you have to make all those extra collateral pieces to go
Yep.
with your project. You
Yeah.
already have it.
Yeah. And or at least you already had the idea and it's, oh, cool. Because again, that's great. Because again, you have to think of like, so now it's kind of harder, I think, is because again, years ago, it was, you could walk in and see it, right? We knew that. Now we don't even know what's going to happen. Will they be able to get into Adobe or not? Or when will they be? You know what I mean? So it's kind of this whole new way. Are they going to do this? Because I know like certain companies, like I was watching, reading something about A&E is now all moving, well, the people are working from home. The offices are basically shut down. So, it's kind of like, okay, will they ever go back to face-to-face or will it be a digital? So it's hard to say right now, but I mean, I'm planning for that it will be hanging up in the hallway and you'll have thousands of people coming by and people checking it out and dealing with that. So think of it that way. That's what we're going with. So, I know we're not there, but it's crazy right now. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
All right. Hold on a second. Sorry. All right. Okay, sorry. Talking to a client there. Telling me something. I sent him a proof and I was waiting to hear back from him. I was like, I have to check my spam folder. Like, please do. How hard is that? Okay. All right. So let me, we'll do a look at everyone's, so we can do a review of what we submitted and everyone who submitted them and all that stuff. So that way we can go over and do some reviews. And again, you can always keep them as is if you want, or if you want to down the road for the end of the term, resubmit them with a new design or not. It's up to you. I always like to see that if you try it, or even not this class, but even I see you down the road in a portfolio or whatever, you go, hey, look, I changed that project or I made some adjustments to it. Try it. Don't just lock yourself into that one design and all that like I normally do. Got to learn to change, evolve. All right, so I see I have Armando's up here, right? So we'll start with him, if you don't mind.
No, that's fine.
Hold on, let me just do this real quick.
Birthday people first.
Yep, birthday boys first. Sorry. Good work. All right, so let me publish that. Come back here. All right. Okay, the full screen. Zoom out a little. All right. And I like the concept that you went with. I like it. You went with the Polynesian also. It's really kind of cool. But that's the thing, that topic is so wide variety. That's why I like that. I didn't want to say, hey, how I feel like American or Japanese. I want to see what you guys were doing, all that stuff. So, okay, so here is Mr. Armando's poster, right? Hello. So, all right. So right away, Armando, I mean, I like this, but I think I'd rather, maybe either this one bold or this one bold so they stand out. I think a different typeface, I mean, I do like this, but I wonder maybe a capital T, they are capitals, but a larger one, so that way it's kind of like a little break, so if there's this type family has like regular, medium, bold, it's a great way to build up typefaces or a type look like that, but I like this. So I do like that. So I'm just saying, just a suggestion, but you have room here. That's why I always look at this. You have a good amount of room, right? And I think For me, I would like to see this kind of pop up a little bit behind it. If not, like even just the T, like, just imagine if that T is just somewhat behind it, or you can make the globe bigger. It's up to you, really. And I think this type, and usually I'm not a big person on centered type, but I think the centered type will give you that more impression, so that way you matched it perfectly here to here, and I can't even draw a straight line right now. It'll work and keep everything flow with this as well. You know what I mean? To see it'll match up to this one. All right. And I think, well, I'll show you again. We talked about this yesterday in class. It could be a slight drop shadow, right? Not the one with the fuzzy edges to it, but a darker one, so it kind of gives it like that. It's kind of cool. So I get it's up to you. I'm just saying that I like it. It gives it the depth and all that. Okay. I'm wondering, what do you think about this? Like a box right here, right? Coming from the side, maybe this is filled with black type, white, then it could be white type, black box, white, coming in, so that way there's the tools from this, or it can be a darker green like that, so that way you kind of have a cool design element as well going through it. I mean, and if you want, you can maybe have it come it this way. Whoops, not to the edge, but like right there, like that. So that we kind of have this it brings your eye, you're coming down, right? So if we look at this, right, what happens, right? So we would look, right, and then we see this, and this would force our eye back in here. It brings us back down to this section, right? Hello, hey, come on. So it draws into this section, and then this brings it back to here. This brings it down to here. This brings it to here, and you did a great job of bringing everything down to the bottom of the page. So it worked. Great job. What do you guys think? As I totally wrote on this stuff, so I normally do with everyone. What do you guys think?
I like the concept that he has going. Maybe if he were to put the like the globe, center it in the page, and all this around the globe.
Ooh, I like that.
It might work better.
I also think I like this pattern back here. I wonder if you move this down to like this green to like a 30-50%, so this is somewhat coming through, but again, you still have enough solid mass, so the way it won't interfere with these photos, but it also gives you enough room, or won't affect your type as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I like the colors chosen.
Oh yeah.
Makes me think of that area, those islands.
Mm-hmm.
Tropical.
Oh yeah. And I like the map is great. It shows where the islands are and all that. And it's just a great way to do this. A great way to show this information.
Yeah, because I like the colors and the texture. The texture is really cool, and kind of like everything's kind of laid out and agree out how that's working.
Mm-hmm. Even if you don't make this opacity, even adding a little texture, if you take like a little texture that kind of looks like skin, and put it on there, so it kind of varies slightly on there, so that way you're like, oh, that's kind of a skin tattoo, you know what I mean? So because this is great texture, and then the kind of blank right here, but I think that light texture of the skin or something simulating skin in this green, I think will help it as well. It'll really make everything pop. So, okay. Yes, no? Anyone have questions? Huh? Yes, no?
Do I have chance to improve it, or?
Oh, yes, you
Okay.
do. Yes, you
I will
do.
be submitted later.
Oh, yeah, you can submit at the end of the term. You can submit it back at the end of the term. There's no problem with that.
Okay. I will work in that later.
Yeah. That's why I say you guys if you want to leave it as is or resubmit, I am fine with that. This is why I have.
I'm always open for improvement. I'm always able
that's
to.
why. Yeah, that's why I want you guys to come to class so we can talk about this and help you, so that way you can resubmit it. Like, oh, hopefully, I always joke about it. It'll spark something in your head. You're like, oh no, I want to go try that. And it's something new, and you're like, ooh, it worked. You know what I mean? So this is what I want for you guys to come submit your project so we can look at it. All right. So yeah. Again, I want to show you this. Like, I want to move this out of the way. Okay. So I'm gonna come in here, and I know I showed this to Armando before, but again, it's certain things with adding just simple textures and feel to it. We were talking about this yesterday about stroke on type, excuse me, and how to play on it, how to make it look well. Right. The trick with this, I don't know if you guys really understand it, right, is the consistency of the stroke. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because I can change it, but to me, this is where it's 3 point, 3 point, 3 point. They're all the same, see? Well, but again, it is, you're only seeing 3 points, right? The reason why, 3 point stroke, I double it by 6, so I'm covering half of 6 is 3, right? So if I want 3 points to show all the way through, all the way around, so that's why I went 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, so that each
that makes
stroke
sense.
would be 3 points.
Yeah, because the other 3 points are going to be covered, right?
Right.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, so this is like talk about again perception, little things like that, how to keep it. Again, if I want, like here, like on the 6, so if I went down to a 4, right? You'll see the difference.
Yeah.
Because you're only getting 1 point because 3, right, minus 4, 4 minus 3 is going to give you 1 point, and that's all it's going to show you. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I do that 2, 4, 6, 3, 6, 9, because I know, again, if I want to be consistent 3 stroke all the way through, that's what's going to show it. All right, that little things like that. And again, remember, this is still live type, right? Again, appearance palette. Click on that. Right, here's my appearance palette, live type. Because again, stop that. Yeah, aren't you? I can. Should be able to turn it out. There you go. See, using the option key. Oh, no, this one. Ow. Okay.
Like you could throw double stroke like that.
Right, and that way I can kern it, right? And if I want to connect them, not even see the double strokes, and I could just use my arrow key one over, and I can see I can now. But it shapes. If I went this close, no one will know that's a T, right? So I gotta kind of have some kind of shape so they understand it. You know, see? And the beauty of this also is that when you do this, character right there. Grab that little bad boy. Zoom back out for a second. All right. Remember, right? Table, contents. Look here. Right here is just touch type tool again, remember? Right? So this is still live type. And I still can change it. Well, like that. See? How's that?
That's nice.
All right. So again, that's what I'm saying with the background. Sometimes you're adding a little texture will really give it that feel, you know, and give that impression as well. See how this feels kind of like pushed off? But that little bit of texture sells it. You know, again, when you look out this far, you see it, but there's something in there. It's not flat like that. Now, there is texture in there, see? You don't see it, but it's in there very slightly. All right. So, I mean, this is what, I mean, little things like this will help and fix it and all that. So, put my appearance back on my palette. There we go. All right. So I just want to show you that. It's kind of a cool thing. This is, remember that drop shadow I was telling you about, right? This is what I talk about and I joke. I hate, right? So I'm gonna come up here, take that down there, zoom out. Right? This is what I'm talking about. When you do drop shadows, color of the swatches, go to green, oops, X, green. All right, this is what happens. A lot of people come over here, appearance, you know, they won't even go to appearance. They'll just go to stylize. Hold on a second. It does help to have something selected. There we go. All right. Right. Then they come to stylize. Oh, I know why. Okay. Let's do this real quick. Change that again. Go back to green. Green. All right. Oh, I was looking in the wrong place. Drop shadow. No, I couldn't find it. That's the drop shadow that I don't like. Hold on a second. Meaning it just says to me, and I joke about it right here. Stylize, drop shadow. Photo. This says, hey,
Oh,
look,
yeah.
I found the drop shadow button. But again,
Yeah.
you can do more with it. Like I know, and I've been playing around with so much that I know that if I go, all right, so if I go 0, 7, it tightens it up, all right? And if I know, because I know my numbers, I've been messing around with it enough. So if I go 0, 2, 5, I can control it, and I just comment the same, copy the same number. All right. Oh, too close, right? So if I come here, I go 1, 5, 1, 5. All right. So again, that's what you should do. But everyone just finds that stupid ass drop shadow and puts that soft edge on it, right? So, but I think better if you do stuff like this in Illustrator and do it and then bring it into InDesign or just work in Illustrator, right? My thing is for a drop shadow is to get it. Sometimes I want it soft, right? But sometimes I want a nice hard line. So if you go Command C, copy, Command B, paste behind. So the one that's active is literally the one behind. So if I go click 1, 2, I always go 2 down, and I'll change my color, right, and to a black, and it gives me a harder drop shadow. See? I mean, I like this type of drop shadow than that one. I mean, I like this one, but I mean, it again, like Brian, everyone says, content design, what it's used for, but I think this one gives a good effect to it. Simple. And the cool thing about it, the two separate pieces, All right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So again, you can do a lot with it. And this one, cool, because this all, again, if I want to get back to it, all I have to do, right? The appearance palette, again, double click on the drop shadow. And that way, if I want to go 95%, right, I'll go to a normal, I can even change the color if I wanted to. So if I want to go to a darker green, I guess. There we go. Right. So I can always come back and forth and play with drop shadows that way. Right. And again, remember, when you guys deal with type and all that stuff, think about this. This is not good kerning. You should be able to come back and just want to kern it the way you want. Again, your design is going to dictate your kerning.
Mm-hmm.
Like this kerning down here is different from that one because I wanted that look. This one I don't want anything to touch, but I want it to be good. And the cool thing about it is you could also kern between words as well. So if I want to go, I could push it out a little more, kern that back in, push that out a little more. And I'm just using my arrow keys to go down the road, down the line of the wording. All right, so that way I can hold the Option, arrow keys, arrow key, Option. Ooh, too much. Key, Option. Oh, too much. And there we go. And that way you can kern the heck out of everything now. So a lot of typefaces look better that way. All right. So, all right. So I think if you do that again, I think you get a lot of cool textures that might help and all that, and even stuff like this. They have a lot of really cool stuff in Illustrator to play with. So don't be afraid. All right. Any questions so far? No.
I'm still trying to figure out how you did that double stroke.
Oh, you want to see it?
Yeah.
All right. Do you want me to do it from the beginning? You guys want me to start from the beginning? Yes or no?
Yeah, sure. Because I'm looking. I'm like, how the heck?
It's magic, dude. All right, so let's start from the beginning. All right, let's zoom in. All right. All right. So the trick is, it's the appearance palette, all right?
Okay. And I'm in there.
All right, so you see here's a type, right? You have to do this keyboard command. You have to hit Command ? And what it does, it takes away the color. So it's always better to just type out the word, do that keyboard command, and then put the color back on there. Because you're like, it went to black again. I'm like, well, yeah, it's going to do that. All right. So now, as you can see this, can you see this, Germaine?
Yes.
All right. So here's my stroke. So if I said I want 3-point stroke, right? Oh, oddly, it always goes to black. How weird. Default. Okay, so there, right? But again, that doesn't work. Right? It looks like it works. All right. Clone this. Right? Because if I come over to my character palette, right, and change this to a serif typeface, right? Crappy. All right. Simple fix, because this is beautiful, because now this looks like a layer. So I'm on this type right down here, right? So all I have to do is take this stroke below the fill, and there it is. See? Click over here. Right. So the stroke is over on the top. So if I move it below the fill, right? So now I'll duplicate that fill, the stroke, all right? 3, 6, 9, whatever numbers you want. This is just me being me, my normal crazy idiot. Again, you don't see the white, like, what happened? Because it's white. All right, double click on that. So this will be 9. Again, that's just my weird thing of doing it. So, ta-da! And there you go.
And you got a double stroke.
Yep.
How would you click on a serif font?
Oh, well, hold on. Okay. So, hold on. Stop jumping the gun. Stop distracting me. Okay. So let's do this a little more, right? So let's duplicate this, right? And then this will be 9. This will be 12, right? But I want to go. And the cool thing about it is I can even slip another color in there. Yeah. You can have a rainbow effect, whatever, depending on what you want. Right? So I'm going to go 15, right? And then I'm going to go green so you guys can see this, right? So now I'm going to, right? So now I knew because of the stupid kerning that I did not work. Or if I want that effect, again, double click, hold down the Option key. So that way, if I want to see all the wording, or I wanted to just kind of play around, or I want to meld, it's all live type. So I want to come back. And again, this is what you guys should be dealing with on a daily basis, struggling with your kerning. You don't like it? Kern it. I'm serious.
Yeah,
Like I said earlier, as we go along and you get to know me more and more classes, I am going to call you out on little shits like this and ask you, like, why did you kern this? What made you do this? All right. So you can see the difference, right? No kerning, right? So one more thing, right? So now back over here. Right. So now I look at this stroke, right? This stroke right here, which is this stroke. That's why I always have that out. It helps me go across. So I can come over to this stroke, right? That's where I can come over here, drop shadow it, and do that. Normally it's always be black. So you can see it like that. And let's go to 100%. I said black. There you go. All right. So I can do all that, play with that, and click OK. All right. How's that look?
that looks cool.
All right. So all that is, see, it's this. So I knew with the drop shadow one, I could do the same thing here on white or on the other black, right? The cool thing is if I want that black same drop shadow on the 9, I'll just Option, drag it down there, and it did it. And if I want, I can come double click and come back and say, you know what, I want this one to be a 3 instead of a 7. Click OK.
Yeah, because I know I'll see you do something, and I'll be like, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah. Well, see, like this one, I don't like that. Like, if I don't like it, the cool thing about it, I can just shut that off. Well, just have it selected, and then I can just shut that off. And like, oh, okay, right. So now I have it selected. I always do this. I run to my graphic style, right, and I come over here saying new graphic style, not my libraries. Call this type thingy. You can name it whatever you want to call it. All right, I save it, deselect it, right? And this is where it comes, all that for a Naib's answer. How's it look on serif typeface? The beauty of saving it to the graphic styles is all I have to do is come over here now and click on it, and it does it for me.
Okay.
And but the good thing about that graphic style, it works on everything, every shape, form, whatever I want. I can apply it to it.
And then you kind of have everything consistent. Okay.
Yep. Yep. And this is still live type. I can still
Turn.
turn it out. Right? Like, well, you know what? Let's say, okay, so check this out. All right, so let's come over here. Move this out of the way, dock my graphic styles, hide my libraries. Right, come up here again. Out of the way. So if I grab my characters panel, Command T, all right, and the beauty of this is that it actually does it in live time. I think it's freaked out. Oh. Yeah, see, you can see how it looks. If you run into a situation where, I just saw it, totally freaking, oh, wait, damn it. And I know you're gonna run into it and people are gonna get freaked out, and when it happens, I gotta find it. Of course. Oz. My buddy Avier. I love a good Avier. Again, when you change typefaces, you might have, oh, there it is. I know it's Braille hands bad. All right. Each typeface you might have to recurrent. So let's go back to Braille hands. So if this happens and you don't want it to happen, and sometimes it's good at, so what you're gonna have to do is come back to your strokes, right? And just tell it to be rounded corners on all of them. Because again, you didn't realize this when you started doing it, because you didn't realize what typeface it was that would do that too. So let's come back, let's convert to rounded corners, and it takes that away. See?
Okay.
All right. So if that happens, you know, sometimes like, oh, that's perfect, I need it, but you know, sometimes that does happen. Just make your strokes rounded corners, and then you get cool stuff like that. All right. And again, remember, you have this. You can duplicate this, and then I can add a fill. And again, I always populate my stuff with fills, right? That I don't know what's going to, just have it activated. I always do that. All right, so I can hold it here. All right, I'll do two things. All right, and then we'll go back to the review. So like here's my favorite is my silly elephant skin, right? Because again, I know I can do so much with it as a multiply, you know, an overlay, screen, you know, it's there. Just gotta look for it. Yeah. All right. So again, a lot of times lately I've been playing with a lot of hard light. I don't know why. It seems to be working really well for me on that one. Right. Come back here. Right. I'm gonna do one more. When you duplicate this, it'll remember all the settings from last time. So if you have to go back, just reset everything. All right. Otherwise, you're like, hey, it's not working. But the reason why I did that was I can come over here, grab this gradation on it, zoom out, all right, and hit G. So the gradation is going across. I don't want to go across. I want up and down. All right. So hold my Shift key, go up. Nope, went the wrong way. Shift key down. All right. So you're like, oh, big deal, all right? But if I now, because I know my blend modes, if I take the multiply takes white away, Gives me a cool fade.
Okay. Yeah, that would work for doing like, oh, okay. That's still a lot of uses.
Oh yeah. So even when you come back to gradation, right? So go back to, so if I hit G again, right? So I can move my gradation, you know, wherever I want it to go, you know. See? How's that? And it's live type. And it's live type again.
So you can change it and.
Right. Right. Yep.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I like that.
You know, it gives a good depth of field, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just freaked out Illustrator again. Ah. Woo! All right. All right. So there's one more thing I think I want to show you. I think I showed you once before. Again, building on this whole thing. All right. Get rid of my appearance. Stop that bad boy. All right. So transparency. All right. So this way I can come over here. Actually, you know what? I want to do it on this one. All right. So I come over here. Make a box. I'm taking a box, literally. I'm just going to take a box, put a gradation on it. I don't need that. All right. If you ever have that issues of the graphic style, keep using the last one. Just go to the very first one. That's the default one. All right. But what I need is, I don't need a stroke on there. So let me take that stroke off. But I do need a gradation on there. So I'm going to slap a gradation on there like that. Doink. All right. Again, I'm just going to guess. I think it's up to down if I want it. All right. Nope. Down to up. And again, this works with linear and radial. So again, you can also play with this as well. All right. And it's right here, same thing. Okay. So now if I select both, all right, type, remember the shape has to be on top. Make opacity mask.
Oh, yeah.
So I can fade it. It's like in the clouds. Be careful. Still on the mask. A lot of times you'll always be on the mask. You won't be able to do anything until you literally click over there and you can start doing work on the document. But here, if I come back to the gradation, I can
Change that around.
Yep. So if I want to, you know, so if I want to, yeah. Again, you can start from all the way out there. And you can play with this up here as well. You know, this slider. Okay, fine, be that way. Yeah, same thing here. Yeah, moving your, yeah. Oh, get rid of that. So you can do a lot of cool stuff with this technique as well. This is the opacity transparency. So you can really hide type, make it fade in and out.
And when you can do stuff like that, that's one of those things that can kind of tell your level of
Right.
design.
Exactly. Exactly. That's that perception.
Because I know with my first portfolio, when I got my associates,
Right.
all that nice, clean design where it's like, hey, but I couldn't do this. I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah. So just be careful when you finish that. Make sure that you're on this. Otherwise, you can't work on the rest of the document. You come out like, okay, good, we're good. And there we go. See?
Okay.
Kind of cool, huh?
Yeah, it is.
So the appearance palette, the perception, again, like Germaine said, it shows. And again, like here, what I would do, again, I always do this. It's just, I laugh at that because I'm always like, go to the graphic style palette, save. Cloudy? I don't know what I'm going to call it. Cloudy.
Because it seems like like, I guess the further you are, it's kind of like they keep you in a box.
Yeah.
And it's like, here are these rules to do if you're at this point. But once you get to the next point, it's like, you can do all these other rules.
Yeah, exactly. Like I always said, once you know the rules, you can break the rules. You just can't do them willy-nilly because you think, like, that's just cool. Like, why? I don't know. All right. So helpful? Yes, no, maybe so.
Very helpful.
Yeah. So again, I think with your type, Armando, on the top, something like that, like you did even with your other one. I think, I mean, I like to see like one where you bold and like tattoo, you know, so that way it really plays off and all that. So if that typeface has a good amount, you can do some of the kind of cool stuff like that. But I think like even like that, like for your photos, like a little drop shadow like that, like a little black one, you know, so you can do a box, just put it right behind it, you know, and it'll work fine. It'll look nice. So again, it's up to you, but I think it gives you that kind of cool push off like that. So it gives that good depth of feel. So again,
And improve it
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Well, it shows that you're taking a 2D design and giving it depth. You know, you're not just like, oh, here it is. You know, now I'm like, oh, I want to give it layers so that way I can pretend I'm walking through it and have that good depth of feel. So, okay. All right. So far, so good. Yeah. All right. Yeah, and the other thing of that is that it has the touch type tool. It's still live type. You know what I mean? So you don't have to create outlines because, like I said, I always joke about when I ask people, like, can you put a live gradation on type? Like, no, you have to create outlines. No, that means you do not know Illustrator. Plain and simple.
Yeah,
Just so
because
you know.
one of my project pieces, when I had graduated, it was like this U.S. Assassination Museum. And I ended up making like this target for like something that Kennedy said. And I used like the longitude and latitude of where he was.
Oh,
And
cool.
then the way I kind of had the letters, it was supposed to say like Kennedy. It was supposed to be like if your brains got blown out and it was letters, the letters went flying.
Right.
So it's kind of like doing all this stuff. And then I remember right when I was getting ready to graduate, they were like, no, straighten this up.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, you put me in that box. Okay.
Yeah. Basically, the associate and everything, they want you to learn the proper rules so that you can break them. That's what I tell you guys. You know, proper design breaks the rules. Plain and simple. Once you know the rules, you can break them because you understand them, right? Not like I
If
took
you
a
don't
shot.
know,
Yeah.
if you don't know, because I remember there was one thing where it's like, you never ever stress type. But then I had this professor and she was like, well, this time do this here. And I said, are you sure? She's like, do this here. And then after I did it, she was looking at my Facebook. Why'd you do that? Because you told me to do it. You told me to do it, and now you're like, why'd you do it?
Hold on a second. I want to show. I remember this. I want to. That you're talking about the symbol and all that. I want to show you something that's really kind of cool. Quick little trick here. I know. So you guys don't ever. You guys see the line segment. You got the arch tool. You got the spiral tool, right? You remember the little banner that I made with the spiral tool, right? Then the polar grid. And these are great. These are great. The polar grids are kind of weird.
Yeah, I remember.
All right, so here's a polar grid, right? I'm gonna just go too thick. Get away. Stroke is that on? Jesus Christ, I don't want 3 point. I want 1 point. So again, I'm just gonna click on the thing. And usually, if any tool, if you click on the paper or the artboard, you'll bring this up. So I'm gonna go 4 by 4 number. Yeah, that works. Okay. All right, go V. All right, check that out. Right. Object. Expand. Yes, fill stroke. Good. Real good. Object ungroup. The reason why I didn't go ungroup first, then expand, because I know I'm gonna have to ungroup it after expand. So I'm like, eh. All right. So now I'm gonna take this off. Say goodbye. All right.
You just got a pie chart.
Oh hell no! I got something better. I got something better. Hello. Oh, I know why. Oh, okay. Oh, hold on. When I expanded, I should have not have done. All right, so if I come over here, do the red. Hold on a second. I went the wrong way. Ungroup first, don't expand. Sorry. The reason why because it creates the outlines. I didn't want the outline. Oh, I don't want that one. I do want that circle. I can get rid of this stuff. I don't want this. The reason why I'm showing you this real quick is because if you come over here. What? No. All right. Start over again. Should not take this long. V X stroke black. I just need to see it, right? Object, ungroup. Get rid of that. Object, ungroup again. All right. X, I want to fill it with red. Fill that with white. And I can fill that with blue. What am I making?
Captain America shield.
Oh, how hard was that, huh? How hard was that? I know it's not the real Captain America shield, but I'm just showing you that you can use this and then start tool. All right. There we go. Captain America shield. Done. 1, 2, 3. Not the greatest, but you get the point.
Right.
So using these kind of tools, so if you need to create a good circle within a circle, ta-da!
Okay. That's useful.
I could even go further. Let's say we do gradient, right? So I pull out the gradient. Go red to white. Go circular. Hold the Option key down, drag that. Change that to red. Back to red here. Sorry. Oh, I want to move you. So I'm just trying to get a radial, a better radial, so that way it's kind of at the edge. I'm just being picky here. See, I'm just trying to get that around that way. Right. Hold the Option. Or I can just click over here. Oh no, stop that. All right, so change that to white. Do it faster. Option. Back to red. All right.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
So of course, now you're separated. I don't want that. All right, I can. Oh, so I'm just messing around trying to get a better rounded edge.
Like a 3D feel.
Yeah. Just knowing where my highlights are going to hit. I know I want it towards the edge. See?
Mm-hmm.
Just a little more. Tighten that up. There we go. How's that?
That's nice. Okay.
So again, these little tools here, the polar grid, even the rectangular grid, spiral tool. Spiral tool is great. You guys know why?
You know what?
Because you can do type
Right.
on a pad.
You know what? I remember we used to see people do that a lot.
Oh yeah. All right. But then you got to remember, so take it to the next level. So yeah, you do a lot. Like just that stuff.
Okay.
So yeah. All right. So enough of that. All right, let's go back to the reviews. Woo! Guys get distracted me. Stop that.
Sorry.
I bet you guys are. He was like, oh, let him go. Let us do some more crazy shit in Illustrator or Photoshop. All right, let's quit out of that. No clip. Let's go back to the. Let's start wrapping this bad boy up. Let's see. You guys get me distracted and then get off on this tangent. Stop that. Yeah, 5 out of 18. 18 people in the class, only 5 posted. All right, so let's look at Mary's. Mary, buy a bucket. Sorry. A little Run DMC? No, really? Wow. That's really? Damn. You caught in where the original song came from also as well. I think everyone's having a little image problem with text wraps this week. Told you, I'm gonna start calling you guys out on the little shits now. Once you fix this text wrap, hopefully it'll fix this, because this is a really big gap right here. You can move this up. I don't know about mummies, but I mean, I think a better text wrap, if this was done again in design, then do your text wrap with your picture frame, because I think it works really better. And again, it shows you prowess, shows you know how to flow text again like this. You know, I wouldn't say, because they're gonna look at this in your portfolio book and say, why'd you leave that there? You're showing that you do not understand typography and design. All right. Make a little face right here. I don't know. I see a face. I'm sorry. Sorry, Mary. All right. So, but I like the design. I like everything else. Everything's looking good. I like the way you have this on the angles. See, that's really kind of cool. It's showing all this stuff. What do you guys think? Do you think of should be a little smaller, or do you think of should be up here, because it's 2 words, and that way tattooing can be really big right there.
I don't think you're sharing the screen. I don't think we can see it.
Oh, sorry. Ah, thanks. You guys are just sitting there not even telling me this shit. I'm just drawing on this stuff. You guys are like, whatever. Thanks, Naive. Wow, at least one person makes a comment. All right, let's try that again. So the word of up to here and tattooing over here, I think it works a lot better. And again, like I said, text wraps. See, like little stuff. I think if you fix the text wrap, you'll fix this widow, right? But again, right here and right here. I think once you fix this and that, all this will get fixed, and you know how, should know how to fix it and all that stuff. So, all right. Any other questions, comments for her, suggestions? No?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think
it looks like it will be in a magazine, definitely.
Oh, yeah. I like it. It looks good. It's a good start. I mean, again, I think maybe a little texture in the background might help a little bit, you know. But again, that's the big thing these days, putting a little bit of texture so it won't be so flat and all this stuff. So it's up to you. Again, I'm just saying, it's up to you. So good job, Mary. All right. Next up, so here's Naive. And this one it was, we were talking about. Boink. Screen. So I think it worked really well. I mean, the tattoo looks a lot better. I would like to see just a little more skin through here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, because personally, I know that getting a black ink like that on skin is very hard. You know what I mean? So I would just like to see a little bit more, little skin, just a little texture coming through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You follow the back, great job. But I think now you just lower the opacity so that way a little bit of this texture of the skin comes through, and I think it'll be spot on.
Okay.
That's why I was laughing like, he got his butt, and they do it. They do it.
Yeah, I had to warp the tattoo to follow his ass cheek.
Yeah.
Funny.
well, that's that displacement. That's where you use that displace tool.
Yeah.
You know, and it helps.
Plus,
Sometimes you warp, and they have to. Yeah. But it
I
gets
had to mask the tattoo as well, so that it looked like it was wrapping around and not just laying flat.
Yep. Good job. Good job. Yeah. But again, that sells it. It shows that you did this. And I love it that these are your tattoos. You didn't go, no,
Yeah,
just go
I
find
did
stuff on the,
those.
right. That's even cooler. So I would like somewhere down here, like original artwork done by, original tattoo design, and put your name on there. So they don't think, oh, you just went online and grabbed someone's tattoo design. I say give yourself credit.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cool tattoo.
Yeah,
Thank
it is.
you.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't sure about this white type on here.
Yeah.
I was afraid that like just this little section
Uh-huh.
might get
Yeah.
cut off. But if you squint your eyes, it's there enough. So I mean,
Yeah, that was like the only part I was kind of unsure of because I was like, everywhere else it works, but
Mhm.
it'd be kind of weird to change it to a different
Right.
color because then it would not be organized.
And that'll pop out, or they'll draw your eye right to that section. You're like, oops, didn't want that.
Plus, I couldn't use black because it looked
Right.
pretty harsh against the
Yeah.
skin because
Mhm.
it would get lost in the shadows of like
Right.
the.
Oh, exactly. Right. I think you did it right because it's that. This is where you have to like, okay, and like the best way to do it, I tell people, this is why I say print it out. So let's say if you were going to do a printout, I would just grab like a little section right here,
Yeah.
maybe like right here, or maybe like this much, just to see the type. It doesn't work, But I think you got enough where it is. That's the design choice is to make that work. It does. You got it right. You couldn't. Yeah, like can't change it, can't do that. But it works. So I think good job.
Yeah,
And again, like I say,
initially
squint your eyes. Usually, if you squint your eyes,
it's
and
funny because initially the font was thinner, but I
uh,
went with a bolder one
nice,
because that area seemed kind of funny to look at
yeah,
because of the light.
yeah, yeah. No, good call, good call. Like I said, if you squint your eyes on any design and you start to like I don't say blowing out, but it fades in there and you can't read it, that's when you know it's wrong because again, you're squinting your eyes at computer screen. Can you imagine if this was being blown up and printed, it'd be harder to see. So that's a kind of a good way to like kind of pre-test everything. If I squinted on there, I see like, okay, there is some definitions, some continuity. I might be able to get away with that area. So
Okay.
it's another way
Yeah.
of doing it. But it looks good. Good. I like it.
Thank
It
you.
looks really good. Is there a texture in the background or is it just that image?
No, I mean, it's the image, but
Right.
like when you zoom in, it's not exactly like a solid black. It does have some kind of stuff going on in the back.
Okay. Okay, cool, cool. I think it's
So,
better. I like that better than being a solid black because, it gives that, to me, it's almost like the skin feel. It's very textured, and that's what I would want to think about for this, what is kind of imply or give texture. So I think it works well. But I think if it was a solid black, it'd be good, but it'd be like, I think it would be overpowering with everything else. I think it works well with everything. What do you guys think?
yeah.
The only thing that's bothering me
Mhm.
is on the butt cheek where
On
the
the butt
tattoo
cheek?
is. I feel
Uh,
like you don't see the crease on the right cheek, like where
Oh,
it folds,
yeah.
Right here.
like right here. Yeah,
Right.
like it looks kind of just flat, like if his.
Oh, in
Oh,
the photo itself, it doesn't have a crease.
well, what I would do is go on a separate layer, right, and go to your dodge
Yeah.
and burn tool, and you can
Yeah.
burn in like a fake butt cheek.
Oh, okay.
Because that way you're burning in this color, you're just gonna make it a little darker, and that way you kind of like go, just kind of give that
Right.
implying of that. Or clone this, take that and clone it to this side,
Oh,
not
yeah,
on the
yeah, that's
layer,
right.
but on the layer of that. So that way, I think the burn tool, but I can see something right here. If I just come back and burn it just a wee bit more, it'll imply, and I think that's what Brian is talking about. Yeah, good catch,
Okay.
Brian. Good catch. That's what I'm saying. Again, little details, little details, will like, oh man, you did the butt crack. You did every little thing that shows your perception and you're aware of everything. So good job. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, we just looked at Armando's. All right. Isha's. All right, let's take a look at this tattoo final. Is she still here? Are you still on board?
Yeah.
All right, just checking.
Hi.
Good job on this type. I really like it. It kind of has a great feeling. The only thing I'm worried about, again, like I said, I know this is 2436, and I know like if this is like 18 points or 12 points, again, this is where, again, I feel this might be too small of a type. You know, again, I can't say it until I see it printed out, because by my eyesight, you know, and knowing it, I'm afraid this is too small, and you're not going to get anyone to come close in. They're going to come to see this, but I think this, if this was 14 points, I'd go 16 to 18. I would try to come up to here, or even have it run all the way to here, maybe, you know, right up to here, you know, or maybe right up to this T, or right to this end. So that way, because again, I'm just nervous that that it'd be too small when you print it out, and it'd be too hard to read. It'd be like this, but I know that this is 2436. Does that make sense?
Right. Right.
And stuff like this also, I think, like this, I think could be almost like an italic font, like stuff like this. I would make it like an ITC, you know, so that way it stands out.
Right.
And certain things like here, or like this, or even here, I would say if you went to a, see if I can do it. I don't think I can. Well, it would be a bold typeface, you know. So you just make this, whatever it is. Let's say if it's Times New Roman, this would be Times New Roman bold. Like dates and important facts and figures should always stand out. It could be a bold, bold condensed, bold italic, you know. So something with dates and something important that you want to like, draw the eye. So that way, again, you want to make sure that you draw your eye and call it. It's like really, it's like you want to be reading. You're doing it here, right? So we got them here. We're going to read down this way. Now we're going to get them back over here to read here, to come back here, or they're going to just come down this way and read this way and come up this way and come this way. So this is kind of like you get to choose how you want their eye to flow and follow it. So I think you can make this just a little bit bigger, because you got stuff like, you have a little bit of room right here. I mean, right under here, this section right here. Yeah, I'm trying to look at, like, you know, or maybe make the type size a little bit bigger, this, so that way, you know, I'd come from here, maybe to here, except you have that good space. You have room, use it, you know. And for me, again, I think this is just me, and this is what I like, and again, you don't have to do it. I think if you took this, right, and made it go all the way across that word to that whole thing, you know what I mean? So each one, because again, like the I is going to end here, the T is going to end here at the end. It's going to be different. Whoops. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think, yeah, just to make it bigger, it'll stand out. I really do think. Or you can even do a box with something on white type, you know, something kind of cool. I just think these need to be stand out, and you want to really make this pop and information. And I think, what do you guys think? Do you think this has to be more predominant?
It could be, yeah.
Yeah, I
Because,
didn't see that until you marked that.
For sure,
right,
yeah.
right. Yeah, because when you go out, it's kind of like, is that triple eyebrows or alien? You know, I think somewhere they could show that. I think a black type will help that
Right.
break it up, so that way, you know, like before, after, again, if you're standing across the room, can you read that? Squint your eyes. Everyone, squint your eyes. Everyone, squint your eyes. I can watch you guys. Do you see this?
Can't
What
read it.
happens? What?
It disappears.
Right. So that should be a sign. I'm like, oh, can't use that. Especially if it's this close. Imagine you go across the room. You're like, what the hell is that? That's some weird, freaky alien? So,
Yeah, because it kind of made me feel like when I went to Hawaii and I was looking at those like these posters that were kind of over the display case, so I could kind of see like that poster if I was looking at that and then there's like a display case in front of me with like different items that you would see in that poster.
Mm-hmm. I see that. I think I went over earlier. I guess for me, I think, again, another way, it's simple. I mean, this is great. I like the design, but again, the trick is, okay, is that you have this little section right here, right? To me, I don't know if that's bothering you guys, but that's bugging me, because I also then I see this hard edge, right? Because I kind of lose it here and I lose everything here, but I know there's a square there, right? So
Yeah,
that,
you could like Photoshop the object out. and then
Right. Well, like I
place it.
said, the clipping brush or making a clipping path
Yeah.
in Photoshop, and that way you don't have to mask it out, and you just come bring it in. That way you'll have that, and that way then you can do a really good text wrap. Again, and the reason why I'm stressing the text wrap thing again, because everyone needs to do it and learn it, but it also shows that you know how to do it and deliver a good way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So I like this, but I think you can improve this one little section. Again, it shows that, oh, wow, you took the image out of the background, and you did text wrap. So, I mean, you can leave this one because it has a great square. I can see it. Here, I just keep getting distracted by this section right here. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
It's just that white. I'm like, I don't want to keep going back there, So, again, like I said, you guys can fix these, resubmit them for the end of the term when we do the final critique and all that stuff, or not. It's up to you. Yeah. But I'm just giving you general suggestions and see if you want to do them or not. So I want you guys to look at them. All right. So good job. Any questions for her? Comments? No? All right. Moving on. Moving on. Moving on. Moving on. Excuse me. We got Germaine's left, and then we're done. So I was talking to Germaine earlier about this, and asked him how he was going about this, and what kind was he doing, or did he have struggle? This doesn't look like his normal style. That's why I was like, hey, I'm glad to see that you're doing that. Yeah. So I kind of like it, but again, like I said, I think more data, a little more information. I like the way it's looking. I really do. The one I really don't like, which is kind of weird, I thought I would like. Oh, son of a bitch. Right? Let's see, where is it? This one's kind of cool. Again, this is why I can see this as a magazine or a book cover. You know what I mean? It doesn't have the feel of a poster yet, but it has the feel of like a good magazine or a book about the history of tattooing. So again, like I said, I think I like the drawing, the hand style and all that. I think more information about it, like when it started and all that, just a little bit more information.
Okay.
But again, that's why I was asking you, which way were you going back, or which way were you going? There was one that I don't think it worked really well. This one I really do like. That's why I thought, oh, this is a great cover.
That's nice.
Yeah. That's why I was asking, like, which way are you doing? But I think this works really great for like even an ad, or a cover. But I think this is really good. Very powerful. Again,
Okay.
I would like to maybe see a little more information about it. Maybe put some stuff in the background. You could do like
Yeah,
watermarks about the history.
I didn't think about it. I guess because I kept trying to play on the body, and I was just like, man, you can really write so much on the body.
Right. Yeah, I know. Right. But I think it looks great. I think for a cover and all that, I think it works really, really well. So the one I don't really get, and I know not that one. I think it's the last one. No, God damn it. Which one is it? No,
This is what happens when you submit too much stuff.
damn right. I don't label this shit. All right, this one.
I think it was like the first two. That was probably like the first poster I started working on,
Right.
and then I started going into that other poster with the type, and I started trying to like hand letter.
Right. I think it works, but this white background, I literally think I would rather see it on a multiply, so that way maybe seeing this background, because this white, for me, is dead center, and my eye keeps coming back.
Okay.
I can't get off tattoo. I can't get off tattoo. Maybe rotate tattoo, have a different pattern. Maybe, but I mean, every time I can't, I'm always stuck this section. I can't get past this because of the type. But I want to get here. But every time I go there, I come back to here because it's so white.
Okay.
I mean, so I applaud the attempt, but I just think maybe stagnate or stagger the word a little more, or something different, different words, patterns, but this one, it's good. It's a good start, but it's just this white is right in the center is going to go draw your eye to everyone's attention. I don't know about you guys, but I keep coming back to that. Because again, it's just this really weird, the TTO, 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 TTO. You know, maybe make the word tattoo smaller so you can see a little more in there. But because I know what it is, but this repetition, I think kind of screws the design up.
Okay.
That's just me. That is just me saying it, but it might not bother you guys, but you know, that's how I look. But I think everything else will looking well. Again, I like what you're trying to do, but again, it's just that white. You know, you're taking away from all the other cool stuff are here. Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Plus, I always love drawing on your stuff, everyone's stuff, actually, not your stuff, Pira. I draw on everyone's stuff, so don't take this the wrong way.
Professor, you forgot mine.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Where are you, Brian? Back to submissions. Where are you, Brian? Brian. Where'd you put yours?
I submitted in the week 6 one.
Okay. Hold on. Where is it? Submissions. Is it the roughs?
I believe so.
Oh. No, I don't see it. Hold
It's
on.
project 2 roughs.
I was just there, and I only see Naib's. I know I saw it. That's the thing.
Yeah, you graded it.
I know. I gotta go back to submission. Hold on. I know. I was like, I know you handed it in. Final? Let me double check. Oh, got it. Where'd it go? You know what? Hold on. Let's just do it this way. I found a quicker way. Let's go to your name. That's a sperm whale.
You want me to resubmit it?
No. I'm just going through the grades so I can go right to your name and get it that way. I'll just get the double check everything. Okay. I think I found it. Yes, there it is. All right. So let me zoom out here and share the screen. This time, remember to share the screen. I'll start talking and pretend you guys are watching. All right. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I really like the typeface. Looks really good. The black and white. I love the whole idea. But like I said, yeah, I think if you did your text wrap, you know, I know we were trying to do it in Illustrator. I will figure that out and I'll get it to you. But I think if you did it in design, you know, you could also, in design, you can build your own text box so that way you can have it wrap, and that way when you fill it, it's that way as well. So I think it's great. I mean, I really like it. I think the text wrap will solidify because again, it brings your eye in there, right? Mm-hmm. And then it shows the curve of the body and how the text is following and all that. Right? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, so what do you think? I love the idea of the black and white, right? What about her tattoo is the only one in color?
So the image is black and white?
Right.
So, I mean,
it is black. The tattoo is black and white?
Yeah. I mean, the image itself is black and white, so it's not that I converted it.
Oh, okay. Well, I think it'd be kind of cool that, you know, even like, but like her is still black and white, but the tattoo is in color.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you guys? So that way it really stands out.
Photoshop probably use like a multiply tool. That way you can kind of see through it and kind of tint the tattoo.
Yeah. I think that I like the idea of the black and white as well, but I was also curious because this color, right, this pop of color, because again, I'm looking at it this way, and then you have this great shape of the body, right? And that will bring your eye back into here, right? And it brings you down, so it kind of brings you back down in the shape of the body. And if you, I think it would be kind of interesting, like even having type going up this way, you know, or you could, a little fun fact here, something like that. again, to show the shape of the body. You know what I mean? I think that's really kind of cool.
You think the title
Yeah.
the title
Yeah.
looks good? I was thinking of doing the title behind her head.
I like that. I like that.
Or
Then we have two versions, right? You can have two versions, front and back. Yeah. I think behind it would be better. Yeah. Because you'll know what it is. You're not gonna like, what is he selling? You know? Yeah. You know what I would like to, you remember that drop shadow that I did that, paste in front, paste behind?
yeah.
I can see that behind her head, right? And then the drop shadow, this would be white, but the drop shadow could be red. So it'd be on this black background. So it's very thin, not a full stroke, but it has that little bit of that red will pop, Again, you don't have to. You can use a gray or whatever, but if you want to stick with the black and white, it's up to you. But I think a little bit of color might work, or even making this red, like let's say do this version in black and white, and then do one behind it again, black and white, and then go save as, or then do one behind it with like a red color or something like that, and just maybe add a color to this only, not the tattoo, So I think you have great multiple versions, and you can have different variations of that, black and white color tattoo, black and white tattoo, color head, so wherever you want to go and all that. So I think it's a great job. Yeah. And again, like if you're saying like 12,000 years, right? I would try to put that in a bold, so that way it really stands out. Or sometimes I'll even make it like, if this is 14 point, I'll make it 15 or 16 point. So it's a little bit, not much, where it's not like it's 14, it's like 22. It's very subtle, and people don't realize it. Some designers see it and say, oh, why do you do that? Like, but I want it to be that boldish thing. All right. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yes.
That looks good, Brian. It really does. I like it. Good. Do you remember the typeface name of this?
For the tattoo?
Yeah.
Called Calling Angels, I believe.
Oh, nice. And where did you get it?
The font.
Of course. All right. Oh, the font always has a cool font. Again, that's what. So Brian was saying he was having trouble with saving those files because again, a lot of times the font doesn't have a full version. If you need to, just create outlines. Save one version, copy the layer in Illustrator, keep it still live type, and then copy it and create outlines, and that way you can save it out, and that way you won't have that issue of saving it. Or if you want to still go to Photoshop, whatever you want to do, but that's the issue, because that's something good and bad about the font, is it has some really cool typefaces, but when you go to use them, like, hey, it ain't saving.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a full license, or you don't have a full license, but they're giving you more for screen rep and all that cool stuff. So, but there are ways around it. Dude, Germaine, that glow on your head is killing me. Look up. It was bright. I think it even bothered Brian there for a second. Brian was like, let me just fill a check of his attendance. Like, where is that right on? All right. So, guys are looking good. So again, you can also always resubmit these at the end of the term, so you don't have to do it next week. I'm not saying, I don't know, if you want to. No, yeah. But again, you can always resubmit more updates, or if you want to leave it as is, that's fine. It's up to you. So there's no rush. So you got your grade, but I always like to see it if you go back and try something new, or see, hey, I learned this now I can apply that to this project. Oh, cool, this works better for that project. So I always like to see that you step up your game and all that. All right. So any questions before we cut out? No? No? All good. Any questions about the next project, number 3? All right. So let's review this one last time. So what let's do next week is thumbnails for project number 3. Woo! Project number 3. So you start thinking about what you want to do, get your thumbnails going. You know what you have to do. This discussion topic is I've thrown at you guys before, I think, or in other classes, so it should be kind of familiar, but it's kind of a tough one. So I broke it down. Usually I wrote it like in one sentence and people can never figure it out. So I said, what is meant by these terms? The page is a picture. We went through this already, probably in art direction and all this shit. So if you had art direction, you know the answer. Because I know I asked the same question. All right. Hieroglyphic purification, 5 criteria of notation. look at the words as well. All right. So when I mean the page is a picture, what do I mean? Is the page a picture? Yes. You know, it is telling us, right? With type, illustration, photo, right? Hieroglyphic purification. I am not going to tell you what that is. You guys have to look that up. Look at both words up and put them together. The 5 criteria of notation. Kind of interesting. And again, if you had this before, you've probably seen this discussion before in another class. So bring it back up, go look at your notes, and just put it back in there. So, all right. So, any questions? No questions from the fine folks that are here today, but we're the person out there. No? Still can't hear you. You must be on mute.
Nope.
Unmute. Oh, wait, you can't because you're not in class. Don't hit me. I'm so silly. All right, enough of that shit. All right, so you know what to do next week. You know what you're supposed to do. Get everything up there, post and going, and we're going to have fun and we're rocking. So we got 3 weeks to do this poster. This one I think is going to be the tough one because there's so much mass information. How to get all that stuff, what type size and all this. So this is going to be kind of a tough one for you guys and gals. I think you can handle it. And I think I'm looking forward to see some really kind of cool stuff. All right. So
All right.
think about your type, think about photos, illustrations. How do you want to present the data, the information, pie chart? It's all up to you now. I want you to figure out how you want to present this and think of this. This is going to be a portfolio piece. This is also your client, Adobe. They hired you. You now be hanging this in Adobe's lobby and all that good stuff. Right? So start looking up the references and information and all the good stuff that you need to know about Adobe. And that way you'll have some clearance and know what it's all about. And you should know what you were dealing with and what kind of company that you deal with and get all that good stuff. So, all right.
All right.
All right. Woo, good job, everyone. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. You guys doing really good jobs. You guys are all week 7. We're all good, right? Which is kind of nice and steady pace we're working, right? Better than like a project a week, right? Well,
The time has been really, really moving.
yeah, it is. But at least, you know, we're not crazy 1-week projects where we have to like bang things out. I want you guys to have time to really think about these projects for your portfolio. Because I think it's a very important piece because you are going to need some kind of information graphic in your portfolio to showcase that you can do that. Again, even like going in that industry, but it just shows that you know on how to handle information, how to present it, and what way. So, all right. So think about it. One of these projects should wind up in your portfolio. You pick. Okay. So just think about that. All right. So on that note, I'll say thank you very much. Be good, be safe, be good. Last time, any questions for me? No. All right. Well, you know where to catch me online. Got my number, you got my email. On social media, you know where to find me and all that good stuff. Any questions, just holler at me and I will be here to help you out. So on that note, we'll say goodbye. Thank you for showing up. You have a good day. Enjoy the rest of the day and have fun. Go evolve, be an artist, go design, be creative, do something fun and loving and share your wealth and be a good person. That's all I can say. Just have fun. Have fun.